Once near a great forest lived a poor woodcutter with his wife and his two children. The boy was called Hansel and the girl Gretel. He had little to eat, and once, when great famine fell on the land, he could no longer even get daily bread. Now, when he thought about this at night in his bed, and those about in his anxiety, he groaned and said to his wife,
What a become of us? Wow, how to feed poor children when we no longer have anything ever for ours.
I will tell you what, husband. Early tomorrow morning, we will take children out into the forest. There, we will light a fire and give each of them a pinch of bread, and we will leave them alone in forest.
No way, I will not do that. How can be to leave my children alone in the forest? The wild animals, the wild soon come and cheer them to pies.
Oh, you fool! Then we must all four die of hunger. You may ask plan for plans for the coffins.
and she left him no peace until he agreed to the plan.
But I feel sorry. The poor children all the same.
Said the woodcutter in a sorrowful voice. The two children had also not been able to sleep for hunger, and had heard what their stepmother had said to their father. Gretel wept bitter tears and said to Hansel,
Now all is over with us. We're surely going to die in the great forest.
Be quiet. Don't worry, Gretel. Do not distress yourself. Believe me, I will shall find the way soon. Waiting for me there.
and when the old fox had fallen asleep, he got up, put on his little coat, opened the door below, and crept outside. The moon shone brightly, and the white pebbles which lay in front of the house glittered like a real silver pennies. Hansel stooped and stuffed the little pocket of his coat with as many as he could get in. Then he went back and said to Gretel,
Hey, little sister. Just be comforted. You can sleep in peace right now. I have an idea for us to escape our condition right now. Don't worry. It's time to sleep.
and he lay down again in his bed to sleep. When day dawned, but before the sun had risen, their stepmother came and awoke them, saying,
Get up, you small cat. We were going in the forest to fetch wood. There is something for you, Taina, but do not eat up before 10, for you will get nothing else.
Gretel took the bread under her apron, as Hansel had the pebbles in his pocket. Then they all set out together on the way to the forest. When they had walked a short time, Hansel stood still and peeped back at the house, and did so again and again.
Hansel.
Huh? What?
Yes, father.
What are you looking for?
I'm just looking for our cat. I think she's sitting up on the roof and maybe she's saying goodbye to us. So I just looking for him.
Oh, that is not a little cat. That is morning sun with shining on the sides.
Hansel, however, had not been looking back at the cat, but had been constantly throwing one of the white pebble stones out of his pocket on the road.
Fill up some meat and we'll make a fire. Yeah. All right.
Hansel and Gretel gathered brushwood together, as high as a little hill. The brushwood was light, and when the flames were burning very high, the woman said,
Yeah, fire! 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 Fire!
Now, children, throw yourself down by the fire and rest. We will go into the forest to cut wood. When we have done, we will coming back here.
Right.
Okay.
All right, mother. We are waiting for you.
Yeah.
Good luck, father, mother. Bye.
Hansel and Gretel sat by the fire, and when noon came, each ate a little piece of bread, and as they heard the stroke of the wood axe, they believed that their father was near. It was not the axe, however, but a branch which he had fastened to a withered tree which the wind was blowing backwards and forwards. And as they had been sitting such a long time, their eyes closed with fatigue, and they fell fast asleep. When at last they awoke, it was already dark night. Gretel began to cry and said,
Don't worry, Gretel. Just wait a little until the moon has risen, and then we will soon find the way. Don't worry, my little sister.
They walked the whole night long, and by break of day came once more to their father's house. They knocked at the door, and when the woman opened it and saw that it was Hansel and Gretel, she said,
You naughty children, we have you foolish wrong. Please stop to here. Never coming back at all.
Better than us, Mom.
Not long afterwards, there was once more great dearth throughout the land, and the children heard their mother saying at night to their father,
Everything is eaten. We have half love left. That is the end. The children must go. We will take them further into the forest. And I don't want them in the house. I say again, I don't want.
The man's heart was heavy, and he thought,
It would be better for me to share the last mouthful our children.
The children, however, were still
Why
awake
the
and
door
had heard the
still won't be
conversation.
open? I
When the
haven't
old
taken
folks
care of
were asleep, Hansel
It's
again
locked
got up
from
and wanted to go out and pick up pebbles as he had done
what?
before.
What's going on
But the
there?
woman
I'm
had
gonna
locked the
get
door,
pebbles.
and Hansel
The
could
door is
not get
locked.
out.
Ah,
Nevertheless, he
what a
comforted
bad
his
circumstance.
little sister and said,
Don't cry, Gretel. Just don't cry. The good God will help us. He will help us to get out from these really bad circumstances. Just go sleep quietly.
Early in the morning came the woman, and took the children out of their beds. Their piece of bread was given to them, but it was still smaller than the time before. On the way to the forest, Hansel crumbled his in his pocket, and often stood still and threw a morsel on the ground.
Hansel,
Yes, father.
why do you stop and look around?
Sorry. I'm just look for our pigeon. I think she is sitting up on the roof and trying to say us goodbye, maybe.
Oh, that is not a little pigeon. That
Oh,
is
really?
a morning sun with shining on the side.
Really? Pardon us, mom.
Just sit there, you children. When you are tired, you might sleep a little.
Alright.
We will go into the forest to cut wood. When we have done, we will coming back here.
Pinky promise?
Promise.
Alright.
Yeah, come on.
When it was noon, Gretel shared her piece of bread with Hansel, who had scattered his by the way. Then they fell asleep and evening passed. But no one came to the poor children. They did not awake until it was dark night. And Hansel comforted his little sister and said,
Sorry, Gretel. Just wait a little until the moon has risen, and then we will soon find a way. Don't worry, my little sister.
When the moon came, they set out, but they found no crumbs, for the many thousands of birds which fly about in the woods and fields had picked them all up. Hansel said to Gretel,
Don't worry, we shall find a way soon.
When the moon came, they set out, but they found no crumbs, for the many thousands of birds which fly about in the woods and fields had picked them all up. Hansel said to Gretel,
Why are you scared? Don't worry, we shall find a way soon. But me too, I want to go home right now. Don't worry.
and when its song was over, it spread its wings and flew away before them, and they followed it until they reached a little house, on the roof of which it alighted. And when they approached the little house, they saw that it was built of brick and covered with cakes, but that the windows were of clear sugar.
Wow, look at that house. It was made of bread. It will be a good meal. I will take the roof, and you'll take the window. It will be a sweet taste. Trust me.
Hansel reached up above and broke off a little of the roof to try how it tastes, and Gretel leaned against the window and nibbled at the panes. Then a soft voice cried from the parlor,
Nibble, nibble. Who is nibbling at my little house? Oh, you dear? What brought you here? To come in and stay with me. No harm shall happen to you. I have you. They shall not escape me again.
Early in the morning, before the children were awake, she was already up, and when she saw both of them sleeping and looking so pretty, with their plump and rosy cheeks, she muttered to herself.
Hmm, that will be a dainty mouthful.
Then she seized Hansel with her skillful hand, carried him into a little stable, and locked him in behind a great door. Scream as he might, it would not help him. Then she went to Gretel, shook her till she awoke, and cried,
Get up, lazy thing. Fetch some water and then cook something good for your brother. He is in the stable outside and to be made fat. When he is fat, I will eat him.
Gretel began to weep bitterly, but it was all in vain, for she was forced to do what the wicked witch commanded. And now the best food was cooked for poor Hansel, but Gretel got nothing but crab shells. Every morning the woman crept to the little stable and cried,
Thank you.
Stretch out your finger, that I may feel if you will soon to be fat.
Early in the morning, Gretel had to go out and hang up the cauldron with water and light the fire.
Gretel, we will bake first. I have already heat the oven and knead the dough.
She pushed poor Gretel out to the oven, from which flames of fire were already darting.
Creep in, Gretel, and see if it properly heat so that we can put the bread in.
But how am I going to do it? I don't know how to.
Silly goose, the door is big enough. I can get in myself.
And she crept up and thrust her head into the oven. Then Gretel gave her a push that drove her far into it, and shut the iron door and fastened the bolt. Oh, then she began to hold quite horribly, but Gretel ran away, and the wicked witch was miserably burned to death. Gretel, however, ran like lightning to Hansel, opened his little stable, and cried.
Hansel, get out. We are safe now. The
Yay!
is back.
Yay! That's good. Wow, these are better than pebbles.
So now, take something for home.
Yes, we must bring it up. But we have to get off soon to get out from this witch forest. Let's go.
Then they began to run, rushed into the parlor, and threw themselves round their father's neck. The man had not known one happy hour since he had left the children in the forest.
Father, I miss you so much.
Their stepmother, however, had died. Gretel emptied her pinafore until pearls and precious stones ran about the room, and Hansel threw one handful after another out of his pocket to add to them. Then all anxiety was at an end, and they lived together in perfect happiness.